Hey everyone! So this is going to be my third video of the Meigs County Health Department Nutrition video series. Today I actually got a request from somebody at the health department to talk a little bit about how nutrition can be changed or made better by gardening. So with this stay-at-home order that's slowly but surely being lifted, a lot of people have gotten used to gardening and being at home and getting outside. And I know that personally a lot of my family is getting ready to do the same thing. So how does gardening affect our nutrition? Like, how does going outside and planting herbs and produce help us at all? So why should you grow your own produce and herbs? Growing your own fruit and vegetables can actually increase your intake. So research has shown that if you grow your own food, you're more likely to eat it. Also, if you're growing your own produce, you get to decide how fertilizers and pesticides are used or not used in your garden. Also, vegetables that ripen in the garden have more nutrients than those that are store-bought, and this is due to the early picking that is required for distribution to grocery stores. So what grows well in this area, or what grows well in this time period, like late spring, early summer? So I'm going to go through a few plants and produce items that do better when they are planted in this time frame. So to start, beans. They grow best when they are planted between May and July. They do better when you plant them in full sun, about 3 inches apart, and when they are watered frequently. Beets is another one. They do best when they are planted between March and August, 2 to 3 inches apart, and when they're watered each day for the first 2 weeks, and then watered every other day after that. Carrots, they do best when planted between April and July, and they grow best in sunny locations with rich, light soil and regular watering. Also, you should water those also each day for the first 2 weeks and then every other day after that. Peas, they do best when they're planted between February and June. They need to be planted in a sunny area with lots of room, but be sure not to overwater those. Potatoes, they do best when they're planted from early spring to early summer, so right around in this time frame. Squash do best when they're planted between May and June, in full sun and warm weather. They need to be watered once a week in dry weather, directly on the soil. Okay, tomatoes, they do best when they're planted outdoors between May and June. They need heat to thrive, and stakes can be used as needed for those. Okay, so that's just a few of the produce items that are growing really well right now. But aside from just planting these produce items, I wanted to talk a little bit about composting. So composting is an inexpensive way to fertilize your garden and help it retain moisture. It also gives nutrients to the soil that otherwise it wouldn't receive. Compost can be bought or you can make it at home with vegetable scraps, coffee, tea bags, and straw. And what compost does is it attracts microorganisms and worms to the area, and then that eventually becomes part of the compost as well. And that's just a really great way to not only reduce waste, but also to promote growth in your garden. If you guys have any other questions about gardening, you can just look online and do a short Google search, and they have a lot of good, reliable sources to help you start your at-home garden. Okay, thanks guys.